Map data system. Let me remind you, in Sword Art Online Progressive, the heroine once tried to end her own life by wandering around a dungeon till she dies, but then being saved by the protagonist. She was annoyed by the protagonist's heroism, and then the protagonist said if she want to end her own life, at least give him her map data. What is a map data? So basically, to give a players a sense of discoveries, video game map would show a minuscule information or no information at all about location that yet to be visited. So yes, you have to go there yourself to reveal the map data. In Sword Art Online, it could implicate as a discovery of a town, a dungeon, a special area, or whatever. Should we implement fast travel though? Maybe, but you have to pay for it. By the way, the Sword Art Online that I propose is not a full open world. Like the whole first floor is open world. No. Because it would lessen the social interaction, combat tendency, the immersion, and blah 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 blah. And you know, naked open world make it more like a theme park than a death game. Desu game. So I propose it to be a divided open world or zones. There is gonna be the city or town as the lobby or save zone. And then the location becomes something like a matchmaking cage or something like that. And then there is the link zone or connector between zones. So here is the flow. Let's say you want to go to that dungeon. You spawn in your house or apartment and then going through some zones inside the city or town, and then you go to the gate. Or you could just fast travel to the gate from your house. Of course, you will need the map data of the town to do that. So yes, you need to explore the save zone. You interact with the gate and it will give you option of link zone that connected to that save zone gate. Let's say some city or town have a multiple gate. You choose the link zone and then you will go to that link zone. You will have to fight your way through multiple link zones so that you can be in the location. What if the character died in the link zone? Well, you have to start over from the save zone again. Or maybe rush to where you die in case there is left over in your dead body. What if the character died in the location? Well, maybe you can just fast travel to the location. I mean, you have the map data, so why not? By the way, there is a scene where the protagonist using a horse, a mount, to quickly travel to save the day. It could be the fast travel. But for going back home, you need to go through link zone to the save zone gate. Wait, so the heroine able to transfer map data to the protagonist in a form of an items. Can we just buy map data from players or maybe the NPC? Maybe. I don't know. So yes, map data stuff is kinda complicated. The bigger question is, if it is actually being implemented, would it be fun or actually obnoxious? I don't know. I mean, the link zone could be where to farm resource. And because of the aincrad morality system, red and orange player cannot going into the safe zone, if I'm not wrong. I don't know. By the way, can player have a hideout outside of the safe zone? You know, like having hidden stash or something like that. I, I don't know. That is not the priority, but it is interesting complexity. I believe it is the first of its kind. Correct me if I'm wrong. Those gonna be the extra complexity about the map data system, because in Sword Art Online, you could just open aincrad floor map from the UI. But for the dungeon map data, you need to explore the dungeon to know anything about it. Dynamic questing. So, I don't play Tarkov. All I do is just watching streamer playing the game. Because I'm an Indonesian and don't have a credit card because I don't have a job. But I'm waiting for it to be existed in Steam, which is unlikely, and maybe experience it myself. Why I watch people playing Tarkov though? Because I love to see people suffer. Not only that, I don't want to play it as a fun game, so it is unlikely for me to go beyond level 20 because I am not a no-life that play video game all the time. But here's the thing, I played the Cycle Frontier, which is basically Tarkov clone with space twist. It is fun. Yeah. And here is another thing. I do not like the single player quest system in a freaking survival MMO. Especially someone could hogging a specific site for their own quest while the weak new player is expected to wait or die trying. The veteran will know every single detail about the quest, to the point that the new player is destined to only gain the leftover. I don't know about Tarkov, but in the Cycle Frontier, there is this mission that make you have to eliminate numerous strider in the favela. But the problem is, favela is a high quality loot zone. How many times you think I need to visit favela just to eliminate bunch of striders? Many times. Because most of the time it got wiped out. All the time. That is suck. So, what is a dynamic questing? Let me remind you, in Sword Art Online, you can get a quest from NPC or the quest giver around the town or maybe near a dungeon. Or let's go crazy, you can receive a quest from an inspect of a paper or item somewhere. You know, like those generic MMO quest system out there. And yeah, actually, to be honest, I never play World of Warcraft or any WoW clone and those Korean MMO BS, so I don't know how their questing work. But here is how I propose. Because it is a survival MMO, the resource will be limited. So why don't we make limited quests? Let's say a quest giver only able to give specific amount of quests within a specific duration, and later on will be in a reset, or the quest giver just wandering around. Remember that Sword Art Online players' main goal is to clear 100 floors of aincrad. So there is no reason to make everyone experience the same thing, the same quest. In the end of the day, survival MMO and, to be honest, any MMO are more focused on accumulating resource than a sob story of trader that being attacked by some monsters. In Sword Art Online Progressive, there is a huge quest like choosing High Elf or Dark Elf that will be a series of quests for multiple floors. So yes, there will be that kind of quest. But then there will be a quest that more focus into resource for crafting or something like that. By the way, about crafting, let me remind you, in Sword Art Online there is no job system. Basically, every single player can just do blacksmith, cooking, woodcutting, fishing, or whatever. Especially because the nature of Sword Art Online, there is no magic or something like that. So, can player craft potion then? I don't know. I don't know. I do not read the original like novel or even the progressive like novel, so I don't know. If you know the answer though, please type it in the comment section. If the lore of Sword Art Online is just bunch of magicless warriors, how does the potion and the crystal even be made? I want to know. I want to know. For the time being, let's say that those items only able to be produced by the NPC. But here is my twist. I imagine there is a market by NPC and there is a market by the players. For the NPC market, I want to make multiple retail store with each of them have a different price, purchase plan, item subscription, and many more, so that the safe zone will be lively. In Albion Online, there is only one market in each town. It is convenient but messy as hell. Imagine this in third-person shooter. So, like I said, there will be multiple restaurants with different menu. Maybe one of them focus in tank build, maybe focus in the DPS build, or even those ninja or assassin build. There will be multiple blacksmith with different focus as well. And there will be a little fun complexity around the NPC market. In the players market, I want something like an auctions. So there will be a podium or something for a player to using the social system. Let's say chat bubble system. Or maybe, VoIP or voice over internet protocols to make safe zone lively. And maybe, karaoke system so that everyone can sing in crossing field together or something. It will be fun. It will be fun. Or just simply the traditional auction. That is fine. Floor-based rarity system. At the start, I thought we should go with the normal, uncommon, rare, epic, exotic, and legendary type of rarity system. But in Sword Art Online, there is no such things. It is more like whatever the base of that weapon is, and then you have the option to enchant it to higher degree. So I kinda confused to implement it. And the more and more I think about it, what if it goes something like this? In the first floor, floor 1, you only able to buy from the NPCs, and every single one of the NPC store would only having level 1 items. Why only level 1 items? Well, because you are in the floor 1. Uh-huh. Okay, fine. What if we in the floor 10? Well, there is only level 10 items to buy. Uh-huh. Do you understand? What if I defeated a creature and the RNG dropped me a level 15 items while I am in the floor 7? Well, that is quite rare, isn't it? So basically each floor will have a base level for its items. Floor 20 will have level 20 swords. Floor 69 will have level 69 shield and whatever. If you want a higher level weapon beyond its floor, you will need to gacha or grind in the dungeon to obtain higher level items. For the dungeon RNG, let's say floor 20. The lesser drop will be level 18 and 19. For the higher drop, it will be level 21 and higher. The best drop of the floor 20 will be a level 30 items or maybe higher. So the rarity system will be the player's perspective. But here's the thing, level 12 and level 17 will not be significant. So it should be an easy power balancing. Let me remind you, in Sword Art Online there is a specific type of items that only able to be obtained in a specific location on a specific floor. Let that information become a fun complexity to imagine. For this system, it will actually be implemented in the development of floor 10 or something, because it's not a priority for the official release. Floor boss siege system. Let me remind you, Sword Art Online does not have class or job system. The player have the liberty to do some sort of roleplay. We have the X guy that basically play as a tank player. We have the protagonist as the damage dealer. We have the heroine as a high mobility damage dealer. We have the shield guy that basically damage dealer but also tank. But there is no healer, there is no support and magical support, but there is ranger, ninja, assassin roles and whatever. So there is some sort of composition of team in a party. Let me remind you, the ultimate goal of Sword Art Online is to conquer the aincrad. The higher the floor, the better the challenge. And remember, Sword Art Online is just a generic VR MMORPG. But what makes it special is the emphasis over the meaning of fear, nihilistic, godless, death, confinement, digital hell, and all of the reason why it is the best anime ever made. Yes, the story was a shame though. But here's the thing. Floor boss is a symbol of oppression, limit, and the ultimate death in Sword Art Online. Because by eliminating the floor boss, it would open a new world. Should we just make a floor boss a huge object with a wide hit area and a lot of HP? Or should we make it more challenging? Because the nature of Sword Art Online as a melee-focused combat video game, the floor boss is also melee-oriented. The composition of players will be needed, thus the roles will actually make their effectiveness. Here is the flow. In order to start a floor boss combat, you will need to discover the location of the room boss in the tower-like dungeon or the labyrinth. Either make it a randomly generated dungeon, each wipe is not my priority. The moment a player opens the boss room, every single online player in the server will get a pop-up, floor boss found. And then the strongest player would be invited to a designated time to participate in the floor boss raid. This is only happen for the very first floor, because beyond floor 1, everything will be different. The strongest player will be put into a multiple party and they will fight their way to beat the boss. The floor boss will have a melee combat. And yes, there is a depiction of floor boss sword skill being cancelled by the protagonist sword skill that stunned both of them. What I mean is the floor boss combat is just like how the player versus player combat is. Yes, I'm talking about an AI that will adapt to the player's action. An AI that will target low HP player within its reach. An AI that will reposition itself from being surrounded and maybe even breaking players' formation and punish the lack of players' teamwork. Because it is a survival MMO, death will be fatal. So anyone can run away from the boss room or maybe using the teleportation crystal to the nearby town, but nobody cannot get inside the boss room until that floor boss fight ended. You would need a lot of healing, a lot of communicating, and a lot of concentration until your raid party take down the floor boss as the strongest player in the whole server. As the second floor open, guild mechanic will be unlocked. Auction, morality, crafting, and many other systems is starting to become available. I can say that the first floor is just an introduction of Sword Art Online gameplay or aincrad world. For the floor 2 and higher, floor boss raid will be consisted by multiple guilds, so that there is no guild monopoly in aincrad and would actually create the frontline players that being depicted by the lore. The dynamic of frontline player, which is those no-life player, and aincrad inhabitant player, that would be me, would create an illusion of living in aincrad as a single ecosystem, that it is some sort of community game like Death Strandings or something like that. So for the floor boss, it will be like player versus player combat. How about those non-humanoid field boss? Well, maybe I'm asking too much. There is this game called Shadow of Colossus. You see, I never played the game myself, but I gotta say, climbing a gigantic boss is kinda cool. Especially in a party, that will be epic. At the end of the day, I want a real siege, and I have not found it in gaming industry or even the indie gaming community. Wait. We have mount and blades though. Is it actually a good siege experience? Aincrad morality system. Let me remind you, in Sword Art Online there is an orange and red players. But why they make such things? If we actually think about the lore and the intention of the developer of the actual generic VR MMORPG genre, why they put such system? If Sword Art Online ultimate goal is to conquer the 100th floor, why PvP will be desired? Why players have to hurt each other? If the Sword Art Online PvP is just an afterthought and the game itself is just an adventure theme park of aincrad, why they even have a jail system? Why they have a morality system? And what would be the benefit of defeating a player and getting orange or red status for temporal days? If it is a generic MMO, you would die and just respawn with all of your sweaty, overpowered gear. You lose nothing. Here is the thing. I do not read the light novel. I do not read the progressive light novel. And I do not know why you would kill a player in the aincrad theme park. Roleplay? Or maybe Sword Art Online is actually a survival VR MMORPG, which is VRSMMORPG. I don't know. But later on, Kayaba Akihiko revealed that Sword Art Online is indeed a death game, not a theme park. Again and again, the anime proving that people killing each other for resource. There is even a freaking PK guild like Laughing Coffin. And the player killer PK term is being used multiple times by the protagonist, who is a beta tester. And as far as I know, either PK is a common term in that universe, you know, that futuristic Japan, or it is more like a recent thing in aincrad. I don't know the truth. Whatever. So, aincrad morality system is basically a system that punish player that done evil to other players. If I am not wrong, a assaulting a player would make your character into an orange characters, and killing a player would make your character a red character. Of course, red character would stay longer in the jail compared to the orange character. By the way, let's talk about the green characters. If green character being assaulted by orange player, and then the green character fight back as self-defense, they will not become orange themselves. But if they decide to kill the orange characters, they would become red. Remember, you could put the orange player into the jail. Also, if you don't want to get into the jail for whatever reason, you could end your own life and just gonna respawn naked. Is it fun complexity or maybe obnoxious? I don't know. Beside PvP, I don't think there is any other reason to have morality system. So there you have it. Wipe system. The first time I played the Cycle Frontier, I was excited. The feeling to outsmart, sneak, or even rat other prospectors is just wonderful. The heart-beating fight between humans that will decide our little story as a victor or maybe as a loser create these cycles of struggle that I enjoy. But it all changed when they put the wipe system. All of my effort, all of my sacrifice, all of the feeling that I get from investing my time in the Cycle Frontier is disappeared. My faction levels, 0. My stash, gone. My progress, off. Everything is being reset. Everyone is starting from the beginning. I thought to myself, why would I even play a game if everything in that game eventually will be gone? And then I play Albion Online, where there will be a player with 100 billions of silver as he play Albion for a long time. There will be Zerg versus Zerg that will forever fight their share of Black Zone. There will be a never-ending goal that every single player make by themselves to forever stay in Albion. I compared the Cycle Frontier to Albion Online, and I remember why I play games. Because it is fun. We have papers, drawing, book, music, video, movie, and on top of any types of entertainment that humanity ever created, there is video game. It is a world with its own rules and law to entertain us, the players. Especially there is a games that you never touch again, because you forget or no longer interested by it, or someone or some people or some group influence you to stop playing. So yeah, having any digital possession in any form is kind of weird, because it's all about the fun that you get. So what is a wipe system? It is basically a system to reset the game or changing the game, and every single progress that player made would be restarted to 0. Why should we wipe? Because it makes everyone into the same starting state that nobody is in unfair condition. Not only that, it gives you the opportunity to experience many more variables that you might never experience. In Cycle Frontier, they do a seasonal wipe. Why seasonal? Because by the next season, there will be a new update. What kind of update? It could be an update where your favorite weapon is deleted. Or maybe some mechanic being reworked. Or maybe a totally different gameplay. Or maybe the whole game itself is changed. What about Tarkov? They do uncertain wipe, which means they could wipe the game whenever they want. They need. They did it so that they could improving the games or whatever. In Rust, wipe happen based on server settings, a week, a month, or maybe more. Why Sword Art Online need the wipe? Like I said, suddenly make 100 maps overlapping each other in 5 to 10 years would give you something miserable. So it would be the first flaw and slowly but surely getting higher. Because it is in ongoing development, it could have more improvement over time. You know, like a totally better mechanic or something like that. We can say that players are building the game as well as they contributing in playing the game. For the very first floor, players would beat the floor boss in a month. 30 days of pure gameplay. And we wipe it all. They introduced the second floor. Players would beat it in 40 days because they understand how to finish the floor 1 faster. They introduced floor 5 and player would beat it in 75 days and all that left is killing each other for fun. The game got wiped. They introduced the floor 25 and then players beat it in 300 days of pure gameplay. And one day they will introduce the floor 100 and all of the player would race to the top with whatever goal they set. 50 years have passed and there is only yearly wipe. Multiple generation of human is a part of this journey. I believe Sword Art Online title deserve such immortalization. I don't know about you. Social aspect. As I said, the bottom will be book. Above it will be music. Above music, there is theater. Above that, there is video. Above the video, we have movie. And on the top, it will be video games. But you know what? Even among video game, there is the ultimate form of video game, which is social video games. Social games are the final form of video games, in my opinion. Because social game could trigger creativity, humanity, feeling beyond what the game intended. I said something about karaoke using VoIP, which is very cool, but then I wonder what kind of social aspect we can put into Sword Art Online. We're gonna have guild, PvP, floor boss siege, trading, festival, event, marriage, and many more. It's not gonna be the foundation of the game, but we need more than just a bloodbath. Call of Duty's social aspect is famous for its incoherent trash talk that most of the time does not mean anything, but it is partially convey the basic feeling while playing the game. Albeit online social aspect is conveyed through chat bubble is interesting but awkward. Especially it is a fast-paced game. On the other hand, Tarkov having more refined communicating wheel to express their feeling even while the danger of being betrayed is high. The feeling when you seeing a new player struggling and the desire to help them is pretty much what make a survival MMO is very social. The most retarded experience, the most beautiful experience, the most exciting friendship are crafted in this social aspect. So, I don't know how, but we need a strong social aspect in Sword Art Online. And of course, available for everyone. Oh yeah, by the way, I want an NPC waifu that would Okaeri nasai when I was killed by other player. Yeah.
Negative. Shit, what's your problem, man?
Monetization. Survival MMO is not a game for everyone. It is hard, it is stressful, and it is time consuming. The Cycle Frontier is a free-to-play game, and the monetization is pure in the skin of weapon, skin for characters, and other skin just like Rust. You can buy specific pack to give you more items and extra Kmart that would help you to have a better start in each wipe. What about Sword Art Online? First of all, it can't be free to play because it is alienating majority of population and might traumatize pool of innocent souls. So yes, it will be paid client or something like that, and might change to free to play when there is a stable community and financial heaven created by the players. That way, the new player could play on their own pace as the experienced player grind in a higher floor. Or it could be 5 floors would be free to play, and for higher floor it would be paid content. That's interesting. It should be Japan first because it is a Japanese IP, and I don't know. I don't want the Western publisher to operate Sword Art Online monetization, and of course not by those Komo, you know, the Korean MMO. And because it is start in Japan, it could pioneer the foundations of Sword Art Online culture that will be the staple for the ongoing server in the future, just like how Fantasy Online MMO and Final Fantasy MMO teach how to be civilized in video game. Hear me out. You can say I'm being greedy with the monetization, but all I propose is just to facilitate people's greed. Skill-based video game is not profitable. A game without skill ceiling could mine greedy player as they being seduced by sexual tension that cover in a constant story of the character in that game and glorified to influence other players to make more additional purchase of a gambling ticket. So, should we put gacha in survival MMO? Yes. What kind of gacha though? Items gacha, which contain weapons, equipment, supplies, material, and all of that. But all of it will be gone in the next wipe. Well, some people are greedy and love to pay to win. Huh? And don't forget about aura and morality system. You know what I mean. Especially if the items you gacha are not compatible to your character build, all you can do is put it into the auction. Not only that, even if your gacha having overpowered gear, PvP is fierce. So yes, this gacha is effective for the frontliner and expert player that might be making money by making content themselves. So yes, reinvestment to the community. Not only item gacha, we will have skins gacha. In case of weapon, you could skin every single weapon with the protagonist black and white liner pack or something like that. And maybe other weapon skin based on other anime as collaboration. And of course, skin stay forever to that account. Regarding the skins in general, I want a difficult quest or some sort of obnoxious task in aincrad to prove how intense you are and reward you with a skin and, you know, cosplaying as Killa in Tarkov or those Call of Duty golden weapon skin shenanigans. Or basically, there is a paid skin, gacha paid skin, skill-based skin, task-based skin, and many more skins. Maybe some people want to cosplay as Knight of Blood or those samurai dude. I don't know. The other way to monetize it is subscription. What kind of subscription? Maybe like extra character slot, daily free items, gacha ticket, a secret item that might open unknown door somewhere and basically an obnoxious key, discount for items or supplies purchase, and many more. How about Battle Pass? Personally, I never play or watch any Japanese MMO. It will be awesome if it is into global cultural variation, you know, Viking, Victorian, Renaissance, or any time period with melee weapons. The other option is pure donation to the developer livelihood, you know, maintenance developer or something like that, so that the gaming monetization goes straight to the new content. Just hope that they don't do corruption with it, especially considering how popular Sword Art Online IP is. Closing. Thank you for watching this far, and I hope you get the best impression of what I'm trying to do. I do not know about the complexity of copyright patent in gaming industry. Even I am surprised that Apex Legends patented their battle pass system. The hell? So of course, copyright in my opinion limit creativity, but also it inspire innovation and all along the way. And adapting Sword Art Online into a generic character-focused narration is kinda a waste of potential, in my opinion. And I hope Sword Art Online IP owner met the right people to create a legendary adaptation that would actually be something that the community wanted, needed, and cherished about the IP. That's it for me, AGCV signing out. Ja ne.